Okay, very good. So yesterday we have seen ACE, right? ACE and M are also we have seen relations. Now let's see I. I is nothing but the item type. Okay. I'm just trying to open the Eclipse. Please be on mute. Thank you. Okay, so you can you can look at here, please. As I mentioned, I stands. You can always see that there is a design and there is a source. So design will have this kind of structured. Okay, and when you click on the design and click on source, you will go to that particular source. Okay, you will go to that particular source. Now I already explained item type with deployment, without deployment. Okay, I already explained item type with deployment, without deployment. Now let's take the example of user, right? You can see it is having the with deployment, without deployment. Now let's understand some of the things. So today I will be taking the session for 45 minutes. Okay, sorry for that. And you can see this is item type and item type name. This is item type and item type name. And this is a deployment. This is a deployment name. So that means it's basically a table name in the database. Okay, this is basically table name in database. And this is used for Hybris purpose, right? This is used for Hybris purpose. What does that mean? Let's say you want to read the user records. Okay, please see this. Let me go to the localhost 9002 HAC. Okay, https://localhost 9002/HAC. Okay, admin named the password. So I want to see user table records. Okay, if I want to see user table records, okay, you should not use deployment. You should use user. Okay, you can see here flexible search queries. Okay, flexible search queries, and you can say select star from. Okay, so if you say users, then it is wrong. You will get error. So if you say user, then you get the results. So that's why I'm saying for a Hybris purpose, use the item type. See, you are getting the results. Okay, and you also have option to execute the SQL. So when you are writing the SQL, you can use users table name. Okay, select star from users. You can see you are getting the results. So therefore, this is Hybris. This is the database. Okay, so whenever you are using in the Hybris, use the item type. So that means this one, not this one. So that means in the coding and all, you should use user, not users. You should use user, not users. We'll see some examples in the coming days, but I'm just giving high level. Next, when you write the item type, you are having certain things here. Okay, what are those? So the first one is extends. So the first one, before we go there, let's understand regarding the deployment. So if you see here, deployment will have the type code. Okay, deployment will have the type code. So what is the type code? It's a unique number we are giving for the table. It's the unique number we are giving the table. So this number range is 0 to 32,767. This is the number range you need to give. And when you are creating the table, give the number after 10K. So the rule is less than or equal to 10K, Hybris uses it. Okay, Hybris uses it. After 10K, whatever you have, you can use it. After 10K, whatever you have, you can use it. Please understand this. So user is for Hybris purpose. Okay, deployment is for database purpose. Deployment will have the type code. Type code is a unique number we are assigning for the table. Okay, type code is a unique number we are assigning for the table. Now, so this type code range is 0 to 32,767. Okay, this type code range is 0 to 32,767. Now, when you are creating the table, give the number after 10K because less than 10K Hybris uses it. Less than 10K Hybris uses it. So let's say you are creating a table or you are creating deployment and you have given 980. Okay, you have given 980. So it may work today because assume that 980 did not use Hybris. 980 did not use Hybris, so it may work today. Even though it is working today, still it is not suggestible. Even though it is working today, still it is not suggestible. The reason is tomorrow when they upgrade, they might use again this 980. That time your changes will be lost. So that's why Hybris clearly says use the number less than 10K, use the number after 10K, less than 10K Hybris purpose. Even though some number is available, don't use it. Use the number which is after 10K. So that's about the type code we are going to use whenever we try to create the table. Again, this is optional. If you are not giving, Hybris randomly assign some type code. So if you want your own number, yeah, go ahead and use it. Otherwise, you can just ignore it. Okay, just give me a sec. That's about this one. Next, coming to here. Okay, coming to here, when you are creating the item type, you are having some attributes specifying here. So what is the purpose of this? Let's understand. Okay, what is the purpose of this? Let's understand. Okay, so the first one is inherit. First one is extends. So you all know what is the meaning of extends, right? So so there is a user table. Okay, right now we are creating a user item type, and so there is a principal item type. Okay, principal item type. So the meaning is you are getting the user item type from the principal. The meaning is you are getting the user item type from the principal. That's why we are using the extend. Next, so Jalo classes. Please remember this. Jalo classes are deprecated. We don't need in the latest versions. So these are completely deprecated. The Jalo sessions are there. Jalo classes are not there. So these are deprecated. So that's why let's not spend much time there. So these are deprecated. So still there, you can see that Jalo classes because it's a it is carried from the old versions. Next, there is something called generate equal to true, auto create equal to true. This we need to understand. What is the meaning of generate equal to true? What is the meaning of auto create equal to true? Okay, So first let's understand what is the meaning of auto create equal to true. Okay, first let's understand what is the meaning of auto create equal to true. So when you mention auto create equal to true, okay, when you mention auto create equal to true, okay, so it will hit the database. It will hit the database when you perform the initialization or update. Okay. Okay, so the meaning is, please try to understand. When you say auto create equal to true, it will hit the database. So that means it will try to create that particular item type in the database. It will try to create that particular item type in the database. Now, when do I make this as false? Okay, when do I make this as false? So let's say in the OOTB, okay, this is out of the box user, and right now it is true, right? Auto create equal to true. Now tomorrow, let's say for user table, you want to add one more attribute. Then where do you add? You can add here, right? You can add here. So go to the item type and here you can add it. How do we add? So we can take this and try to create the item attribute. We can take this and try to create the attribute and item type. So this is what we can do. So please understand this. So tomorrow you want to add some new attribute in the user table. So let's say new attribute. So if you want to add in the new attribute, so this is what you can do. Same behavior you can take and add a attribute. Or second option is you can say user and you can say you can give the different name. That means extend feature. Okay, so new user. So that means you can create an item type, extends user and add the attribute. This is one option. You can create a new item type, extend user and add the attribute. This is one option. Or you can directly add in the user table. This is what I explained 2 days back. You can directly add in the user table. If at all you are directly adding in the user table, if at all you are adding directly in the user table, so earlier this item type is already created because of auto create. Now you can make it as false. Now you can make it as false. That's what the meaning of auto create equal to true, auto create equal to false. When you make auto create equal to true, it will try to create database entry during the initialization or update. It will try to create database entry during initialization or update. So if it first time, definitely you need to make it as true. Next time onwards, you no need to make true because this entry already created, only attributes you are creating. So therefore, you can mention auto create equal to false. You can mention auto create equal to false. This is the scenario. So let's say auto create equal to true you are mentioning. So if you mention auto create equal to true, this is already created. So you will get build failures. This is already created. So you will get build failures. Okay, so that's the meaning of auto create equal to true, auto create equal to false. Okay, next one is generate equal to true. What is the meaning of generate equal to true?
Model classes generation.
Excellent. Okay, that's correct. So as I mentioned, for every item type, okay, you can see for every item type, there is a model class. Okay, for every item type, there is a model class. So this model class is generated when you mention auto create equal to true, generate equal to true. that's about the generate and auto create. Now let's come back to the attributes level. Okay, let's come back to the attributes level.
It also creates some generated user .java classes, right? Along with the model classes.
What is generated user?
Like when we create, right, it is creating user model classes. So there is another class, generated user .java class is also, generating.
Generated. I don't see any. Where do you see?
No, I reads on the SAP help.com that when we create, it is like user model.java, and there is a like generated generated user.java. Not user, but there is other classes which we are generating from the item.xml class.
I'm not sure. Okay, maybe if you ping me the link, I will just try to read it and understand more, because I never see that kind of thing. Okay.
Okay.
You can email me what you are reading. Sure. And what you understand from that.
Yeah, sure.
Definitely, I don't see that kind of thing. It might be different context. There can be different context, but at least you don't see anything called generated user, something like that.
Yeah, I will shoot you an email.
Yeah.
Channa, suppose if you are adding one column to this user table, I mean one more thing. So we are going to write our custom core items table, right? We will add that. We will copy this one and place this one there, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So in that case, this auto create equal to false, we can make it, right?
Correct. Generally. That is what I want. Yes.
Yeah, and generate, we can put it as a true.
Yeah, because you are trying. See, in the core extension, for what purpose you are doing? By adding the new attributes, right?
Yeah.
See, just now what I said. So you are going to add a new attributes in the core extension. For this new attribute, again, setter method, getter method is required in the model class, right?
Right.
So that's why, yes.
So it will create. It will generate a new class, or it will over.
No,
I mean,
it will not generate. It will add it.
Okay.
It will just add it. Please try to understand. I'm putting one more time. So let's say we decided to add a new attribute. New attribute means new column in the user table. Then what we will do? We will go to the core item.xml. Okay, we will go to the core item.xml. Then somewhere else here. Okay, slash attributes and slash item type. So that is what we did. Okay, then here this is a new attribute. Okay, new attribute. So let's say we created a new attribute, right? So now you can make auto create equal to false, because this database entry already there. Then generate equal to true is required, because this attribute needs to be added in the user model. This attribute needs to be added in the user model. So if you make a generate equal to false, this attribute again will not be added in the new model, user model. So that is required for us.
Yeah, got it.
Okay, very good. Now let's come back here. Let's come back here. Now let's go to the attributes level. Attributes are nothing but database columns. Okay, attributes are nothing but DB columns. Okay, now see, we are using auto create equal to true at the attribute level. It's the same meaning of, see, if you are mentioning at the item type level, then you know to mention at attribute level. But for readability purpose and all, you can mention it. Otherwise, you can just ignore it. Just now I explained what is the meaning of auto create equal to true, right? Auto create equal to true means it is going to be created in the database. Already we mentioned at the item type level, so you no need to mention at the attribute level. So if you still mention, it's not going to harm anything. It's just going to be readability purpose. Now it's a qualifier. Qualifier is nothing but database column name. Qualifier is nothing but the database column name. Now this is nothing but the type. So this column is going to be a date type. or string type or CLOB type, like that, type, data type, and so on, so on. Next, so after creating the attribute, you can see we are specifying something called persistence. Persistent can be dynamic. Okay, persistent can be dynamic, and persistent can be, so you can see here, persistent can be dynamic, or it can be a property. Okay, it can be property. Persistent can be dynamic, persistent can be property. So when you make attribute, okay, when you make attribute persistent type equal to dynamic, so this will not be created in the database, not created in database. So it will be used for Hybris purpose only. It will be used for Hybris purpose. Okay, it will not be created. So that means there is no DB column, but it is available in the model level. So that means it is available for the Hybris level. So if you make persistent type equal to property, if you make persistent type equal to property, then this attribute will be created in the database. Okay, this will be created in database. So that means this will be a column in the database. That means this will be a column in the database. Now let's understand one example. Can anyone give me an example where you don't need the DB column, but for calculation purpose you need some attribute. Calculation purpose you need the attribute, but database we don't need. Can anyone give me an example? Can anyone give me the example? We don't need the DB column, but we need some attribute for calculation purpose. Can anyone give me an example where we don't need the DB column, but for calculation purpose, for a Hybris purpose, we need an attribute or column? Any example? Yeah?
First name, last name.
First name, last name. There is one of the excellent example. Yeah. Okay, so if you go to
Calculating age of customer from date of birth, like
excellent. Okay. Yeah, excellent. That's correct. You are right. Okay, so let's look at this address. Just give me a sec. Okay, that's fine. Let's close all this. Okay, now let's come back here, our explanation, core advanced deployment.xml. Okay, so you said, okay, let's say I have, let's take a small example. Okay, so let's take a small example. Okay, I want to send. Okay, I want to send offer code for people who is in company, more than 10 years. Okay, so then let's say they will, let's say there is a employee table. In the employee table, you have the records, right? 101, Channa, $10 is the salary, and date of join is DOJ, date of join. So let's say this is employee ID, employee name, and employee salary, and DOJ, date of join. So let's say date of join is 10th February 2000, let's say, or 2005, something like this. Now you can see here, there is an employee ID in the database, employee name in the database, employee salary in the database, employee date of join. Now, I want to send offer code for the people who completed more than 10 years. Do I need to maintain a column called the experience? Do I need to maintain a column called experience, or I can do calculation? Do I need to make it? See, because I need to find out who are having more than 10 years, right? So do I need to create a column and maintain that value, or I can do dynamic calculation?
Make a column.
Why we need to make a column? Because I can always find the total experience equal to current date minus date of join. Current date minus date of join. If this total experience greater than 10 years, then do the logic. So therefore, if you see here, this total experience is not a DB column. This total experience is not a DB column. So it's required for the Hybris calculation purpose. It requires for the Hybris calculation purpose. If this is the requirement, then you can make this total experience is a dynamic, so that it will not be created in the database, but it is available for the Hybris level. It will not be created in the database, but it is available for the Hybris level.
Channa, even it don't require in the model class also, right?
Sorry?
The total experience variable, it is not required even in model class also. Somewhere else in the function we can create it, right?
No, if you create in the function, see, let's say this model class you want to use, please remember this model class at the platform level. Model classes always will be generated at the platform level. You can see here, any model class you take. Okay, so this will be generated in the platform. So if the attribute is there in this platform, the advantage is it is available for all the extensions. It is available for all the extensions. If you just create a local variable, then that value, that visibility is there only for the function, which we don't want, right? Which we don't want. That's the purpose here. So once you have the user model or employee model, you can take employee model. Okay, you can take employee model. So this is employee model, right? So if I have an attribute here, okay, dynamic attribute here, then if I keep some value in this, then this will be available throughout the application. Wherever you are using employee model, that attribute will be available. So that means in one place, if you calculate the value and keep in the employee model, this is available for other places. But if you create a local variable or some variable, it is not available for other places. The visibility is gone. The visibility is gone. That's why we create that kind of dynamic variables or dynamic attributes to make the visibility at the model level, so that it is going to be available for more than one extension. So that's why there is an interview question also. That's why there is an interview question also. So if you observe, all the model classes are generated, all asterisk model classes are generated in platform Y. So this is a question. So all the model classes are generated in the platform Y. So the answer is using the model classes, we perform the DB operations. Okay, using model classes, we perform the DB operations. And DB operations are not specific to one extension. I can perform the DB operation from core extension. I can perform the DB operation from the service facades extension. I can perform the DB operation from some other extension. So therefore, if I want to perform the DB operation from more than one extension, if the model class is generated, let's say model class is generated in, okay, let me tell you this example, right? Let's take this. Let's say a model class is generated in this. If the model class is generated in this, from this only you will be able to perform the DB operations. Okay, if the model class is generated in the platform, then whatever there in the platform is applicable for all the extensions. Hence, you have a flexibility to perform the DB operation from any one extension. That is the biggest advantage, and that's how design is given to generate the model classes in the platform. That's what you need to explain.
So
That's what you need to explain.
Sorry to ask you this question. What is platform?
Who asked that question?
Rakesh.
Okay. So you are, I think you already said sorry. So I don't know what else I can do. Okay. So platform means hybrid provided. This one. This one. This is called a platform. Okay. So therefore, whatever there in the platform, so the conclusion is whatever there in the platform is available for entire Hybris application. That's what the meaning.
Okay.
Okay. That's about this one. The next one is, let's come back. Okay, so let's come back here. So that's about this one. Next one is that's about the persistent type equal to property and dynamic. And you also see some more things. When you hover this, you will get the help. So let's say when you hover on the attribute, so when you hover like this, you will get the help. So please remember this, you also have some more values. So there is a C, MP, and Jalo, property, dynamic, like that, right? So remaining are deprecated, we don't need. Remaining are deprecated, we don't need. So we only need two things, property and dynamic. So what is the meaning of property? Just now we have seen remaining all are deprecated. So Jalo, CMP, all these are deprecated. So only property and dynamic are valid. Okay, fine. Next, in C language, so let me ask you this question. In C language, whenever you create the variable in C language, or what are the types of variables in C language? What are the types of variables in C language? What are the types of variables in C language?
Local variables.
Anyone?
Global variables.
Okay, excellent. Local variables. Okay, global variables.
Static variables.
Uh,
I don't think there is
okay.
any static.
Okay, register variables. Then what else? One more is there. Anyone?
Pointer variable.
No, pointer is not a variable. It's a different thing. Okay. Then you have static variables. Okay. So similarly, in Java, so what are the types of variables? What are the types of variables? This is also called as modifiers. So in the Java, we call it as modifiers, right? So what are the modifiers in Java? So basically, whenever you are creating a variable, so let's say int x and int x local global, the visibility will change, right? The visibility will change. Same way in case of Java. So what are the types of modifiers we have? What are the
Instance.
types of modifiers?
Default, private, public,
Private, public.
Okay.
protected.
So excellent. Private, public, okay, default, and one more is protected.
Protected.
So what is the purpose of this? Private, default, public, protected, all those things. What is the purpose of those?
Scope of the variable in a class.
Okay, it will tell you, it will tell us where exactly we want to access it, right? Where exactly we want to access it. If I make it a private, it is available only in that class. If it is a public, it is available in many places. If it is a protected, only inherited places. Okay, only in inherited places. And if it is a default, only for that package. Like that, we have different visibility. Basically, it defines the visibility. Okay, it defines the visibility. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, sorry about this. Okay, so there is a private, public, default, and protected. Okay, similarly, whenever we are creating the attribute, that attribute will have the modifiers. Whenever we create the attribute, that attribute will have the modifiers. So this modifier tells what exactly we are going to do with this attribute. So are we going to the search? Are we going to write? Are we going to, is it going to be optional? Is it going to be read equal to true, like that? So these modifiers we will discuss tomorrow. I need to go for some other thing. Okay, we'll continue tomorrow these modifiers and we'll see the examples also tomorrow.